It is a wonderful moment here on the weekend at Occupy Democrats when the worm finally starts to turn on dictator Donald Trump, when his DOJ, Department of Justice, begins to get into serious trouble with we the people. And I'm going to show that story to you in just a few seconds because, this is a key moment in what we want to see happen with the way Trump has run his second term. With that said, take a quick listen to what Pam Bondi likes to present about D.C. and military on the street. This.
Let me be crystal clear. Crime in D.C. is ending and ending today. We are going to use every power we have to fight criminals here.
And of course, Donald loves her for it.
And I don't like getting into looks. You know, looks don't mean anything, right?
President, thank you for caring about our capital.
Oh, but don't worry, Donald still finds her beautiful.
When you're in politics, looks don't matter. Look at Pam, I would never say she's beautiful because that'd be the end of my political career. Sorry.
Except for the fact this is what keeps happening to them.
Donald Trump just lost in federal court again because justice matters.
The Trump administration just appealed a ruling from a Trump-appointed federal judge that threw out an aggressive Justice Department lawsuit. That lawsuit had tried to sue all 15 federal trial judges in the state of Maryland. Now, the underpinning of that case, Maryland courts temporarily blocking the Trump administration.
And yet Pam will stick right behind him, despite the fact of this.
The Trump administration's zeal to reduce crime in the nation's capital had touched off a constitutional crisis.
And this is what federal judges really think when it comes right down to it.
He said these officials are, quote, playing cops and robbers on the streets of D.C., and the rule of law is being flushed down the toilet.
Not only that, our secret weapon here in D.C. is U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, one of the toughest prosecutors.
Oh, and you think Jeanine Pirro's going to save you? How about no?
There are now a total of 7 grand juries who have told Jeanine Pirro and the prosecutors she sends in to the grand jury trying to secure felony indictments of protesters and others. The grand juries have told her no 7 times in a combined 5 separate cases. Between the two of us, 65 years of prosecutorial experience combined, we had 1 grand jury no-bill the case, refused to indict. What Magistrate Judge Faruqi thinks about it, he said, for example, federal judges would continue to push back on implausible, illegal, immoral prosecutions. He said that he was beyond outraged.
In the end result in this breaking story, Donald Trump's DOJ is being so reckless and so lawless that aside from flushing the rule of law down the toilet,
that the court was being used and abused to trample defendants' rights.
What they're also doing is they're starting to really upset John Q. Citizen, because what you may not realize is the grand juries are made up of John Q. Citizen. And when they finally push back and they finally say, what are you people doing? You get this breaking story and it's not going to stop. Check this out. Breaking news. Pam Bondi's DOJ facing a citizen's revolt as prosecution efforts flop. Report. Attempts by the Department of Justice to prosecute Americans who are balking at Donald Trump's authoritarian impulses are not finding a friendly audience when cases are being presented before grand juries long considered to be prosecutor-friendly. According to Alan Fuhrer, writing for the New York Times, the U.S. attorneys appointed by Trump and working under the supervision of Attorney General Pam Bondi are finding it rough sledding, getting grand juries to return a true bill that would set the stage to proceed to the courtroom, and there is a reason for that. As Fuhrer is reporting in quotes, in what could be read as a citizen's revolt, ordinary people serving on grand juries have repeatedly refused in recent days to indict their fellow residents who became entangled in either the president's immigration crackdown or his more recent show of force. Noting that 7 prominent cases have already been stymied by grand juries, he admitted there is no way to know what transpired in grand jury deliberations. Nonetheless, a trend is becoming very apparent. According to former USS Attorney Barbara McQuaid, what is happening during Bondi's tenure, both the aggressiveness of the prosecutions as well as the frequency of failures to get a true bill, is extraordinary. In quotes, first of all, it is exceedingly rare for any grand jury to reject a proposed indictment because ordinarily prosecutors use discretion in only bringing cases that are strong and advance the interest of justice. I have seen this maybe once or twice in my career of 20 years, but this is something different, the popular cable TV legal analysts offered. In quotes, my guess is these grand jurors are seeing prosecutorial overreach and they don't want to be a part of it, she suggested. The Trump administration efforts are also being stymied by judges who are growing weary of being led astray by the DOJ prosecutors. In quotes, the erosion of this trust, known in legal parlance as the presumption of regularity, has been widespread in the many civil cases challenging Mr. Trump's political agenda, where judges have repeatedly accused Justice Department lawyers of misleading them or violating their orders. Fuhrer wrote before adding, but now the phenomenon has started to crop up in criminal cases too. According to federal magistrate Judge Zia M. Farqui, who is in a pitched battle with controversial U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro over multiple cases that have been shot down by grand juries, in quotes, blind deference to the government, that is no longer a thing. Trust that has been earned over generations has been lost in weeks. Oh yeah, you heard it here. The frivolousness, the absurdity, or as I like to call it, the hubris of Pam Bondi and Jeanine Pirro and Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance and, of course, the clown himself, Mango Muppet Donald Trump, is coming home to roost because they are losing and they're going to continue to lose because they cannot win on the basis of what they're trying to push through. Yeah, you've seen Trump file a bunch of executive orders, and you've seen the Supreme Court even in certain ways bow with decisions most of us completely disagree with. But when this keeps happening with grand jury indictments, it starts to trickle out across the country and other judges start to realize, yeah, we have to put some checks and balances on this ourselves. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And the DOJ is going to get stopped over and over again. And this is the beginning of the resistance finally working. Do not let up. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, stay frosty.